Master Lü Dongbin said, "That which exists through itself is called the Tao. Tao has neither name nor shape. It is the one essence, the one primal spirit. Essence and life cannot be seen. They are contained in the light of heaven. The light of heaven cannot be seen. It is contained in the two eyes." Today, I will be a guide and will reveal to you the secret of the golden flower of the Great One. And starting from that, I will explain the rest in detail. These words of invitation and initiation are the opening lines of the mysterious ancient Chinese text, The Secret of the Golden Flower. Rooted in Taoist and Chinese alchemical traditions, the teachings emphasize the practice of inner alchemy for spiritual transformation. The Taoist wisdom and meditative guidance provided by Master Lü Dongbin offer insight into the path to enlightenment through the metaphor of the golden flower. This symbol represents the realization of spiritual consciousness and acts as a poetic encapsulation of the ultimate goal of human existence. Thanks to your overwhelming requests, we have created a new YouTube channel called Asangwani, dedicated to the calming chants and mantras from our videos. The link to the channel is in the description. The secret of the golden flower, known in its native Chinese as the Tai Ai Qin Hua Song Qi, can be traced back to the 17th century when it was printed on wooden tablets. However, the oral tradition goes all the way back to the 8th century during the Tang period, where its teachings can be found within the religions of the golden elixir of life, or Jindan Jiao. The text is attributed to the Taoist master Lü Dongbin, also known as Lu Su or Lu, the guest of the cavern, who lived at the end of the 8th century and who would be later counted among the 8 immortals of Chinese folklore. What makes the secret of the golden flower especially unique is that it emerged from a period where Taoism intertwined with the philosophical strains of Mahayana Buddhism, creating a unique philosophical blend that emphasized the psychological over the alchemical pursuits common to earlier Taoist practices. However, while many Buddhist elements are present in the text, it is most deeply influenced by the principles laid out in earlier works of Chinese philosophy, like the Tao Te Ching and the I Ching. In fact, Master Lü Dongbin writes that he got the knowledge for the secret of the golden flower from Kuan Yin Si, who is famous in Taoist lore for being the man whom Lao Tse, the founder of Taoism, wrote the Tao Te Ching for. While the text is clearly alchemical in nature, its teachings differ significantly from the alchemical processes that were practiced by Taoists in earlier Chinese dynasties. For example, Taoist court magicians during the Han Dynasty practiced alchemy in order to obtain a physical immortality through the creation of what they called the golden pill, or as would come to be known in medieval alchemy, the philosopher's stone. Contrary to these methods and goals, Master Lü Dongbin's teachings focus on proper practices of inner alchemy to attain spiritual rather than physical immortality. Aside from the classical history of the text, it is also important to understand the basic philosophical history and foundation from which the text is built. The conception of the universe as is presented in The Secret of the Golden Flower begins with the undivided ultimate Tao. Tao is the primordial force and law through which everything is created, sustained, and determined. The beginning of the cosmos is marked by the Tao giving rise to two opposite reality principles. These are the dark and light principles, or in Chinese, yin and yang. These principles are found throughout the cosmos and are also present within each of us. From yin and yang, other polarities are derived, such as kun, the receptive feminine principle, and jin, the creative masculine principle. It is with these opposites that the Taoist alchemical process is concerned. Through the proper meditative techniques, the practitioner cultivates an equal interplay of these primordial forces and thus regains their undivided and pure human nature. This final attainment of Taoist enlightenment is symbolically referred to as the creation of the golden flower. The most important metaphor in the text is that of the golden flower. The golden flower represents the quintessence of spiritual transformation, a symbol of the light that resides within all beings. This light is referred to as the true energy of the transcendent Great One, or the Tao. It is through cultivating this light within ourselves that we harmonize our true energy with the energy of the Tao. As our inner energies transform, the golden flower within us begins to bloom. Once we have progressed through all the necessary stages of meditation or inner alchemy, the golden flower will finally be created. This moment marks the passage from the divided, confused state of being that all laymen experience to the undivided, enlightened state of the Taoist sage. The process of creating the golden flower is the primary focus of Master Lü Dongbin's teachings and is centered around the ancient meditative techniques focused on inner transformation and transcendence. Central to the teachings of The Secret of the Golden Flower is the practice of meditation, specifically the proper circulation of light. Light, as it pertains to the practitioner, refers to the individual's conscious awareness. The text states, "The work on the circulation of the light depends entirely on the backward flowing movement, so that the thoughts are gathered together." This backward flowing movement refers to turning your awareness away from unhealthy thought patterns and external stimuli and towards what is called the place of heavenly consciousness or the heavenly heart. According to the teachings, if one keeps this up for a long time, that develops quite naturally in addition to the body yet another spirit body. This is why the circulation of light is referred to as the deepest and most wonderful secret. It is through this practice that one develops a spirit body and thus transcends the earthly body and reaches the state of spiritual immortality. This spiritual immortality is nothing more than a return to our innermost essence. This is why the Taoist master teaches the circulation of light, so that true human nature may be attained and we can again experience the eternal light of the Tao. To this ultimate end, The Secret of the Golden Flower provides a multitude of methods for practitioners to hone their meditation skills and thus begin the proper circulation of light. For example, it describes the correct way to lower your eyelids during meditation and focus on the bridge of your nose. It also teaches that the Buddhist method of fixating contemplation is congruent with the Taoist style of meditation. As the text reads, fixating contemplation is indispensable. It ensures the making fast of the enlightenment. In this practice, the goal is to focus your attention on the point that lies directly between your eyes. In Buddhism, this point is called the center of the midst of conditions. In Taoism, it is called the yellow middle. As you fixate on this point, thoughts will begin to arise. The Secret of the Golden Flower teaches that when these thoughts arrive, the meditator must contemplate where the thought is, where it began, and where it fades out. The text states, when the flight of the thoughts keeps extending further, one should stop and begin contemplating. Let one contemplate and then start fixating again. That is the double method of making fast the enlightenment. It means the circulation of light. The circulation is fixation. The light is contemplation. Fixation without contemplation is circulation without light. Contemplation without fixation is light without circulation. Proper breathing is also integral to the correct circulation of light. The Secret of the Golden Flower teaches the importance of rhythmic breathing in order to steady the heart during meditation. The master knows that when pupils begin to meditate, fantasies will begin to arise, and these will cause the heart to beat faster and thus be harder to control. This will cause the spiritual energy to flow outwards rather than inwards as is intended. In the text, it is said that breathing comes from the heart. Therefore, when the breathing is unrhythmic, this indicates that the heart is not at rest. The practitioner must breathe in a way that is inaudible to the ear, so that only the heart can count the breaths. It is through the devoted practice of this method that the breathing becomes rhythmical of its own accord, and spiritual impediments such as indolence and distraction are dissolved. Another important aspect of the circulation of light is the transition from conscious action to unconscious non-action. At first, the practitioner must use conscious effort to willfully circulate the light within them. However, as this is done more and more, less conscious effort needs to be applied to the process, and the light begins to circulate of its own accord. This transition marks the passage from conscious action to unconscious non-action, in which the inner light circulates without the will of the individual. As Master Lü Dongbin writes, the most important things in the great Tao are the words, action through non-action. Non-action prevents a man from becoming entangled in form and image. Action and non-action prevents a man from sinking into numbing emptiness and dead nothingness. This unconscious non-action refers to the important Taoist concept of Wu Wei, which is the ultimate state of being. The Taoist sage lives by this principle of Wu Wei, and through this acts in accordance with the Tao, and thus coalesces with it. In The Secret of the Golden Flower, this transition from conscious action to unconscious non-action leads to the creation of what is called the elixir of life. This concept is very similar to the philosopher's stone of medieval alchemy. However, while the philosopher's stone was believed to bring physical immortality, the elixir of life represents the inner energy that leads to spiritual immortality. Master Lü Dongbin also draws attention to the potential pitfalls of meditation. He insists that a practitioner should not engage in meditation while wrapped up in worldly affairs and attachments. If one tries to cultivate the spiritual energy while not in a detached and relaxed state, the practice will not be successful. He also warns against being led astray by what he calls the 10,000 ensnarements. These are various ties to the world that appear to a practitioner once they have begun their meditative practice. The meditator will try and break through them but will fail and then be led by them into a world of illusory desires. However, Master Lü Dongbin also provides advice on recognizing confirmatory experiences that arise when the circulation of light is done properly. The text states, "If, when there is quiet, the spirit has continuously and uninterruptedly a sense of great joy, as if intoxicated or freshly bathed, it is a sign that the light principle is harmonious in the whole body. Then the golden flower begins to bud. When, furthermore, all openings are quiet and the silver moon stands in the middle of heaven, and one has the feeling that this great earth is a world of light and brightness, that is a sign that the body of the heart opens itself to clarity. It is a sign that the golden flower is opening. Furthermore, the whole body feels strong and firm, so that it fears neither storm nor frost. Things by which other men are displeased when I meet them cannot becloud the brightness of the seed of the spirit. That is a sign that the golden flower is crystallized." Other confirmatory experiences include visualizations of the Buddha, hearing men talk as though their voices echo in a great valley, opening one's eyes to find that they no longer see the body but only light, or if in the midst of meditation, one feels the body begin to shine like silk or jade and is drawn upward as though the spirit is attempting to return to heaven. In this last experience, the text claims that it is possible for the meditator to actually begin to float upward off the ground. The Secret of the Golden Flower not only guides meditation, but also teaches the principles of inner alchemy. This process involves converting the base elements of human existence, physical, emotional, and mental, into a refined spiritual essence. This alchemical transformation is mirrored in the balancing of yin, dark passive energies, and yang, light active energies, within the practitioner. As these energies harmonize, the practitioner advances towards spiritual immortality, ultimately achieving a state where the spirit transcends the physical body and reunites with the eternal Tao. This entire process is summarized by Master Lü Dongbin in the final lines of the text. He writes, "Each individual contains a central monad which, at the moment of conception, splits into life and human nature, Ming and Xing. In the personal bodily existence of the individual, these are represented by two other polarities, a Po soul or earthly soul and a Hun soul or spirit soul. All during the life of the individual, these two are in conflict, each striving for mastery. At death, they separate and go different ways. The earthly soul sinks to earth as Kuei, a ghost being, while the spirit soul rises and becomes Shen, a spirit or god. Shen may in time return to the Tao. If the life energy flows downward, that is, without let or hindrance into the outer world, the earthly soul is victorious over the spirit soul. No spirit body or golden flower is developed, and at death, the ego is lost. If the life energy is led through the backward flowing process, that is, conserved and made to rise instead of allowed to dissipate, the spirit soul has been victorious, and the ego persists after death. It then becomes Shen, a spirit or god. A man who holds to the way of conservation all through life may reach the stage of the golden flower, which then frees the ego from the conflict of the opposites, and it again becomes part of the Tao, undivided Great One. The Secret of the Golden Flower offers a profound exploration of Taoist and Buddhist wisdom, providing a detailed roadmap for those seeking spiritual enlightenment. Through meditation, inner alchemy, and the cultivation of the golden flower, practitioners are guided through the necessary steps to transform their inner energy field and achieve a state of deep, enduring peace and enlightenment. This text not only serves as an aid to personal transformation, but also as a bridge connecting the individual soul to the universal spirit of the Tao, and ultimately to enlightenment and immortality.